So the way that we're going to work things today is I'm going to use these cards, which I often use for you guys, which if you've been to a few of my lives, you'll recognise these Rebecca Campbell cards, Work Your Light. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull 3 cards just randomly, and then I'm going to show you all the 3 cards. And as you're looking at the 3 cards, I want you to just feel and sense which of those cards you're most attracted to. And it's really important that you pick one, not just think, oh, well, I like them all and I'm just going to go for them all, because it'll be more potent of a message for you if you just pick one and choose one, because then, you know, the channeled message, you know, is being directed to you rather than diluting it over the 3 cards, if you know what I'm saying. So I will pull 3 cards and show them to you now. Are you ready? Here comes the first card. Protection. It says, call back your power, cut the cords, soul retrieval. So just see how you feel about that card, how your body feels about that card, if you're getting any intuitive attraction to it or not. Maybe not. Protection. And then I'll pull the next card, which is Anna, grandmother of Jesus. It says, seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. Seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. Anna, grandmother of Jesus. So just feeling whether there's an attraction to that for no logical reason at all. You don't need to know why. Doesn't need to make any sense. But just maybe you're drawn to the colours, or maybe you're drawn to the imagery, or maybe you just like Jesus, so therefore you're drawn to the card, or whatever reason. Just feel if there's an attraction. And then lastly, awakening. Energetic upgrades, a new way of being, integration. See if you feel an attraction to that one. Right, so I'll hold them all up again. You can see them all together. And so we've got protection, Anna, grandmother of Jesus, and awakening. So as you're looking at them all together, just again reconfirming which one feels, for no logical reason, the most attractive to you today. Cool, has everybody got that? Let's begin first of all with protection. So protection, we have call back your power, cut the cords, soul retrieval. Right, so let me take a moment to just connect in with this card and the channeled message that wants to come through regarding this card for the people who were drawn to it. All right, so for the people who are drawn to this card, the message that's coming through is that something needs to change. There's a toxic situation going on in your life that it's a good time now to change your mind about. Now, the word protection, for those of you who know me will probably know that I'm not really into that word that much. I don't go by the whole, we need to protect ourselves. We should put ourselves in a bubble of light every time we leave our house and things like that. We need to protect ourselves from certain people and things. That only makes sense if you live in a world of separation, if you believe you really are separate from everything else and something that really is out there that could damage and hurt you, which I don't believe is the case. I believe we are part of a field of oneness that animates all form. There's one energy here that is seemingly in all these different bodies. Therefore, it's all just us. It's all just our own mind everywhere. And it's really only our own mind ever that we've got to contend with. We see the workings of our own mind reflected to us in the relationships, the experiences, the circumstances of our life. They reflect to us what goes on in our own head back to us. So if there's a situation in your life at the moment that's reflecting to you something that you don't really like or don't really want or doesn't feel right, then something within needs to change. Something, a way you're thinking, a way you're believing, a fear that you've got that's out of alignment with love, for example, a trauma that you're holding that's not in alignment with love. Something like that needs to change. And what I'm feeling specifically is that a new decision needs to be made in this area. A new resolve needs to be formed in order to cut the cords of this toxic relationship or toxic experience or situation or whatever that might be. This could be it could be a relationship that's not serving you. It could be a job that's not really serving you. It could be like an eating habit that is not that good for you, a habit that you've gotten into that you know it's not really working for you, but you're just kind of feeling lazy about doing anything about it or making any particular change. But continuing with this toxic pattern, whatever that toxic pattern might be, is kind of cutting you off from love. It is kind of making distance between you and your soul, between you and the true you, between you and the authentic, loving, fun, happy you. And do you want that? Is it worth it? Is it worth, because you can't really be bothered, or it might be too hard, or that you might have to actually change a few things. Is it worth being lazy about that and not doing that and carrying on feeling this way? Or is it more valuable to make a little change your direction a little bit, change your mindset, let go of some things, or put in some boundaries, whatever is needed, so that you can feel more in alignment with your soul energy and your soul purpose and your authenticity. Because, oh my God, when you are in touch with your soul energy, when you've found that again, when you feel more connected with that, everything starts to work out, doesn't it? Life gets better in all areas. You have more energy. You get drawn to healthier foods naturally without having to use your willpower to make you eat them. You want to be healthy. You like to be healthy and do exercise and the things that are good for your body. And you open up the flow. You get inspired. Life seems to help you instead of hinder you. Opportunities show up. Synchronicities happen. This is what happens when we align with ourselves. So there is some toxic situation or relationship or habit or something like that needs shifting in your life if this is what you have chosen. And the motivation, that's coming through for you is just think how valuable it is on the other side of this. What do you value more, hanging out in this kind of yucky energy or hanging out in loving empowerment? What's more valuable? And if loving empowerment is more valuable to you, then it's time to make a decision. And it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be a whole lot of effort and struggle and push involved. It's really as simple as just making up your mind and choosing what you want. That's really it. Choosing it. Once you've made that choice, this is what I choose. I choose to honor myself by spending time with people who value me rather than the opposite. And I'm not going to spend my energy with people that I don't feel valued by anymore. And that's that. As soon as you make that decision, life goes, okay, she's made that. That's where her energy or his energy is now. And And it just becomes easy to, the momentum starts flowing in that direction. It's when we're sitting on the fence and we're going, oh, I want to, but I can't. I want to, but it's too hard. I should, but I don't know if I'm good enough. I've never been able to do it before, so I don't think I'll try now. Like all of these on the fence energies are pure suffering. They suck being in that, don't they? But as soon as you go, no, I'm worth it, I'm making this decision, then the universe pumps you with some momentum, synchronicities start to flow you in that direction, and things become easier. So this is all really about you making a decision that is healthier for you because you value your self-love, your empowerment, and your embodiment and your own authenticity more than you value whatever's going on in your life right now, the toxic situation. So it's the soul retrieval part of this card, how it says soul retrieval there. When we're talking about cutting cords, I don't feel like that's necessarily cutting cords with somebody else. If that resonates with you, though, then, that's fine. I feel like it's more like cutting cords with the dysfunctional pattern that you've been running, cutting cords with that part of your mind that drags you into that behavior or drags you back to that toxic relationship, or, it's your own mind that we're dealing with here. Let's not disempower ourselves by blaming things on other people, and take responsibility that I'm making decisions here and I can choose to make better ones that will bring my soul closer to me so I feel better in all areas of my life. All right, so that is protection if you chose that one. And so the next one I'll tune in about is Anna, grandmother of Jesus, which says seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. So Anna, grandmother of Jesus, wants you to know that the plans that you've seeded, the hopes and dreams and desires that you've seeded, maybe even a really long time ago, are still acknowledged and are gently and gradually and in divine timing coming to fruition. There's a beautiful positive energy in this card of things coming together in your life. Now, the message too goes into things coming together, not because you're taking control and because you're shouldering all of the responsibility of what it is that you're wanting to actualize, and you're doing it all yourself and it's all on your shoulders. Quite the opposite. It's coming together because it's divine timing for it to come together. And the best attitude to have at this time is one of trust. Trust is the main word. Trusting in the way that the universe miraculously works through you. And this can happen through other people around you. It can happen in community. It doesn't happen on your own. And this is the whole point. You're not on your own. You don't have to do this alone. It's impossible to be alone because we're all so intensely connected. And the attitude that grandmother of Jesus wants to bring is just to allow these beautiful ideas or visions or hopes or dreams that you've seeded, sometimes even a long time ago, allow them to come to fruition by relaxing more, by enjoying more, by getting into an energy of receiving more, by getting to know your connection with all things more intimately and feeling that more, so you feel that deeper sense of trust in your life more. Because if you notice how things work out when you're in a better mood, have you noticed that? Have you noticed when you're in a bad mood, you get in your car, you go for a drive, somebody cuts you off, you get annoyed, you get out of the car, you spill something, you drop something, you forget something, everything can just snowball down from that point, can't it? And the opposite is true. When we're in a good high vibration, we can have synchronicities just show up just like that. And this is the kind of energy that Anna, grandmother of Jesus, wants to invite you back into. The energy of things do magically happen, synchronicities do flow. What dreams you've put out there to the universe are all seeking you. They're all seeking you. They've all been seeded, and you allowing yourself to have more fun, relax more, enjoy more, trust more, are ways that synchronicities can start to happen to bring these forward. Our superpower is not what we can do, like the action we can take, the things we can physically do and take action on. It is how aligned we can allow ourselves to be. That is our superpower. And I want to explain this to you because it's really important. Like as we're moving forward into, all the new energies that are opening up on this earth plane and moving away from that separation model into that heart connection model and flow model, higher, 4D, 5D living and all of that stuff. It's really important to understand that from our 3D brain, we think we've got to take action, and we must shoulder all the stuff so that things will work out in our lives. We feel like we're the controller of our own, of whether things happen or not and things like that. And that's exhausting, isn't it? It's tiring. It causes burnout, and it's just depressing in my eyes. And the thing about it too is that when we're going into that do mode, right, I need to take action on something, control this must happen in order for me to be happy, blah, 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 and we get into this kind of real action, do, it's stemming from fear. It's stemming from, I don't already have it, I'm not enough, something's missing. And when we go into that, it's almost like you're going into contraction, but trying to make things happen at the same time. And can you see how it's just working against yourself? It's like trying to make progress with the brake on in your car, trying to get down to the end of the road while you've got your brake on. This doesn't make any sense, does it? So our superpower is not what we can do, it's how aligned we can get ourselves, how aligned we can allow ourselves to be. Because when we're aligned, and what I mean by that is when we feel good, when there's no yucky resistance or depression or anxiety or struggle going on within our energy system, when we feel at peace with what is, when we've really brought ourselves into that space and we feel comfortable in the universe, knowing the universe is me, it's my home, I belong here, it's safe. All of the universe is conspiring to help me and to bring my dreams into reality, and I can relax back and into that free fall and let it catch me. When we can come into that kind of energy, now we have opened up and we're allowing that all of the beautiful stuff that was trying to filter in, but we were so contracted, trying to do it all on our own. Now we're aligned, and now it's starting to move into our lives. And this is why it's our superpower, because ultimately we are not an island. We are not alone, and we are not doing it all ourselves. Everything that happens here on this plane and in your own life involves everything else. If you think about it, you go and buy something from the supermarket, whatever you bought, let's say it's some rice cakes. Those rice cakes were grown in a certain area by certain people. They were then processed and put in a factory. They were then, all these people did that. Then some people packaged them, some people transported them, some people put them on the shelves, and some people put prices on all of these people were involved in you having those rice cakes, rice crackers, whatever you call them in your country, in your cupboard. And so in the same way, when no one and nothing can exist in a vacuum, we're all part of a big network of activity and movement and thought and belief and all of that always flowing. So if we can open to this one energy that's moving through all of our lives by trust, by fun, by relaxation and allowing, then things can start to beautifully happen. People become extremely helpful. Synchronicities just flow to us. And the seeds that you planted can start to manifest. We have to make space for the universe to come in and do its work, and to know that, like, yes, I want to manifest this thing, and it's important to me, but I don't need it. And there's a difference in that. Like when we go into that, I need it to make me feel okay about myself, to prove to people that I'm worthy enough, and all of this stuff. If we're on that trip, then we're going to get hurt because attachment is suffering. But as soon as we can let go, we've got to have the perfect balance of going for what we want and feeling excited about it and, putting energy into it, and the same equal balance of absolutely surrendering it and letting it go, and giving space for the miracles to evolve and let go. It's all happening. It is happening, but you've got to let go. You've got to let the miracles work. You can't hold on tightly and undig seeds and think, are they growing? Have they got roots yet? Oh, they haven't. Oh, must be a failure, No, just work on your connection with the universe, staying positive and peaceful and trusting, and let the synchronicities roll on in. And this is what Anna, grandmother of Jesus, is wanting to say to you. So that's your message if you pick this card. And anyway, let's get on to the next card, which is awakening. So if you chose awakening, and it says at the bottom, energetic upgrades, a new way of being, integration. If this was you, then here's your message. I'll just tune in with this one. So obviously the word awakening is important here, and if you pick this card, then there is an awakening going on for you at the moment, and this can be an uncomfortable experience. It can be an unfamiliar one. Well, all awakenings are unfamiliar because something old is dissolving and something new is coming, which we haven't quite gotten familiar with yet, or don't really understand what that is yet. It's the unknown, it's the new. Whenever there's an awakening, there's a change, and there's a cracking open, if you like, and a broader perspective installed. And we can't get a preview of that. We can't know what that's going to be like in advance. We have to go through it. We have to bloody go through it. And for some people, that can be very confusing. And so, like it saddens me, that a lot of people go through awakenings, or that their soul is seeking to go through an awakening, but they can get scared and think it's like a mental illness, and go to their doctor and get drugs, which just prolongs or keeps them stuck in a kind of a time lapse. Well, not a time lapse, keeps them frozen in their soul maturity from being able to awaken into where they were trying to go, because it can seem strange what's happening to you sometimes. It can be confused with, I don't know, that something's wrong with you or something isn't right. So whatever is going on for you, who pulled this card, not pulled it, but chose it. If there's something weird going on, like maybe you're noticing something different within the way you're thinking or feeling, maybe you're not as interested in a certain activity anymore, maybe you're longing for a certain thing that you have never longed for, there's something different going on. It's okay. That's really the main message I want to bring, one of them. Everything's fine. You're just something shifting away for the new to be replaced. Go with it. Go with the changes that are happening, and just trust and accept is a really good energy to be in, rather than resisting and fighting with and getting scared by maybe the differences and the shifts that you're feeling within yourself. It's not probably quite clear right now what it all means, but it will be. And you've just got to go through this period of uncertainty, or it's almost like the dim before the sun has quite come up, and it's not that easy to see, and it's a little bit confusing, and you're not really sure, and you're just kind of feeling your way. Just feel your way. And something at some point there's going to be a breakthrough, and the sun will come out, and it'll all make sense, and you'll move into a new vibration where you will have grown. So it can be scary. Look, honestly, so a lot of you know my story. I went through an awakening when I was 19. I started practicing meditation just out of curiosity, really. Didn't know anything about spirituality, and had this awakening experience in one of these meditations where I felt the veil of Maya dissipate for a moment, and I felt re-immersed into the field of oneness, if you like. It felt like an embrace from the whole universe. It felt like I came home for a moment, and I remembered. And that was crazy considering I was 19 and I'd had nothing to do with spirituality my whole life. And all of a sudden, I'm re-immersing into oneness. And I mean, honestly, the shift that made in my brain was, and my being was, I couldn't come back from that. I was changed forever from that little meditation. And I had to go through a year of a dark night of the soul where I was so uncomfortable, and all my old belief systems were being uprooted, but yet I didn't know what I was or who I was or what was happening to me. I had no internet. I had no friends really that were on the same page as that or knew what was happening. I couldn't talk to anybody about it because I felt like they'd all think I was nuts. And so I just really suffered it. But eventually I broke through by going to a spiritual development group and being around like-minded people and growing and developing and things like that. And then it was amazing. And then it was like, oh my God, it was probably the happiest time of my life, like the honeymoon period of spirituality is so beautiful. Anyway, I know through and through the uncomfortableness of awakening. And so I just want to say, I don't know what you're feeling at the moment if you pulled this card, but whatever discomfort is there, just know that it's the breaking down of a wall. It's the falling away of the old. And the message coming through is, don't try to maintain or cling to what was and who you were. Just feel the uncomfortableness, be with it, and hear the whispers of where your beautiful soul, who's completely connected, is calling you to, because it's all there. You'll hear the whispers in your heart of, read this book, or reach out to this teacher, or join this spiritual development group, or start this meditation class, go to this yoga thing, whatever. Like you'll hear the little subtle whispers in your heart guiding you. And yeah, the main thing is to know you are on the right track, and when it gets uncomfortable, oh my God, instead of leaning away and leaning towards avoiding things like drugs and all the other addictive patterns we can get into to try not to feel those things, lean into them instead. Oh, it feels uncomfortable today. Let's feel that. Where is that in my body? Where is that anxiety? Where is that frustration? It's here. It's in my tummy. Breathe into it. Let it be there. Actually really feel it, and just let it be and accept, this is how I'm feeling today. If we can just accept our feelings and feel them, for goodness sake, they'll start to move and shift, and we'll get to where we want to be quicker than if we avoid and push. Then if we do that, the feelings don't go anywhere. They just stay there under the surface, and they become the hand inside of the puppet that moves our mind and generates those anxious thoughts or depressive thoughts and feelings or destructive behavior. That's why the destructive behavior is there, because of these unacknowledged feelings. So lean in to them instead, and allow this dissolving of what you were and what was. What you're moving into is so much better. So much better. The uncomfortableness is just the old you crumbling away. Let it go. Let it go.